Commander Daniel Hayes stood alone in his quarters aboard the UES Defiant, staring at the stars through his viewport. The ship hummed quietly around him. 15 years of war had left him with keen senses. He could feel the smallest changes in the ship's rhythm. Today, everything felt different. The message from the Galactic Council had arrived 3 days ago, after nearly 100 years of humans traveling among the stars. After 15 years of bloody war with the Krell, now the Council wanted to talk. Daniel ran his hand through his short gray hair. He was 45 now. The war had started when he was 30, just a young lieutenant eager to prove himself. Now his eyes held the weight of too many battles, too many lost friends. His computer beeped. Admiral Eleanor Wright was calling. "Commander," she said as her face appeared on screen. Her dark skin looked ashen with fatigue. "The President has made his decision. We're sending a delegation to the Council, and you're leading the military team." Daniel nodded. He had expected this. "When do we leave?" 5 days. The Council gave us 30 days to respond. We're not going to wait." "Do we know why they're inviting us now?" Daniel asked. "They ignored us during the entire Krell War." Admiral Wright's lips thinned. "That's what you need to find out. Take the Defiant. We're adding some fancy decorations to make it look more diplomatic, but keep all weapon systems ready. I don't trust these aliens." After the call ended, Daniel walked to the bridge. His first officer, Major Catherine Bell, was reviewing tactical data. Her red hair was pulled back in a tight bun, her green eyes focused on the screens before her. "Kate," he said, "we're going to the Galactic Council." She turned, one eyebrow raised. "So they finally noticed us? Only took 100 years and a war. The Admiral thinks it might be a trap." Major Bell smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. "Let them try. The Krell were tougher than any of these Council species will be." Daniel wasn't so sure. The Krell were vicious fighters, but they were just one species. The Council had 27 different alien civilizations, each with their own technologies and abilities. "We'll need a team," he said. "Lieutenant Clark for weapons analysis, Captain Rodriguez for engineering. They'll want to know about our shield technology, the tech that won the war." Kate nodded. "Of course they're interested now that we've proven ourselves useful." Over the next 3 days, Daniel watched as workers added decorative elements to the Defiant's exterior. Inside, a new conference room was built with adjustable environments for different alien biologies. The ship still looked powerful, but now with a thin diplomatic veneer. Dr. Sofia Martinez joined them on the 4th day. The xenolinguist had studied every known alien language, including the limited samples from Council species. "Commander Hayes," she said, shaking his hand. Her grip was firm. "I've been analyzing the Council's invitation. Their language is formal, but there's an urgency that doesn't match their public image." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. "The Council claims to be over 10,000 years old. Their usual diplomatic processes take decades, but they want us there in 30 days?" She shook her head. "Something's pushed them to act quickly." Ambassador Olivia Reeves arrived last. Tall and commanding, she had negotiated peace between warring nations on Earth before the Krell united humanity against a common enemy. "Commander," she said during their first meeting, "I understand your concerns, but we must approach this as a diplomatic mission, not a military one." Daniel nodded. "With respect, Ambassador, we'll be flying into unknown territory with only their word that we'll be safe. The Defiant will appear diplomatic, but we will be ready for anything." The night before departure, Daniel couldn't sleep. He walked the ship's corridors, checking preparations that had already been checked 3 times. In the observation lounge, he found Dr. Martinez staring at the stars. "You should rest, Doctor," he said. She turned. "So should you, Commander, but I suspect we both have too many questions for sleep." Daniel stood beside her. Earth shone blue and white below them. "Before the Krell attacked," Martinez said quietly, "I dreamed of meeting alien civilizations, sharing knowledge, building bridges between different ways of thinking." She sighed. "I never imagined first contact would be through gun sights." The Krell didn't give us a choice, Daniel replied. They attacked without warning, without attempting communication, and the Council watched. For 15 years they observed as we fought for survival, never offering help, never making contact. Her dark eyes met his. Why now, Commander? What do they want from us? Before Daniel could answer, his communicator beeped. Admiral Wright was calling all senior officers to a final briefing. The briefing room was crowded. Ambassador Reeves and her diplomatic team sat on one side, Daniel's military personnel on the other. Admiral Wright stood at the head of the table, her face grim. 2 hours ago, our Deep Space Intelligence Network intercepted communications between Council species, she said. They're divided about humanity's inclusion. Some want us in. Others think we're too dangerous to be allowed free access to the galaxy. She displayed a star chart showing Earth, its colonies, and the known territory of the Council. Our analysts found something else, she continued. Throughout the Krell War, Council ships were positioned at these observation points. Red dots appeared on the map. They watched every major battle, studied our tactics, analyzed our technology. The room was silent as everyone absorbed this information. They're afraid of us, Major Bell said finally. Ambassador Reeves leaned forward. Or they need us, perhaps both. Admiral Wright nodded. Your mission has 2 objectives. First, secure humanity's place in the Council with as many advantages as possible. Second, find out what they're not telling us. She looked at each person. The future of our species depends on what you discover. As the briefing ended, Daniel felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Tomorrow they would leave Earth behind and journey to the heart of galactic politics, a small group of humans entering an ancient alien power structure. Commander, Ambassador Reeves said, stopping beside him, we'll need to work together for this mission to succeed. Your people follow your lead. Daniel met her gaze. My first duty is to protect this ship and crew, Ambassador. But I want this mission to succeed as much as you do. Humanity has seen enough war. As he returned to the bridge, Daniel looked at the stars ahead. Somewhere out there was the Galactic Council, watching and waiting. And behind Earth, still echoing through human space, the shadow of war with the Krell. The Defiant was ready. His crew was ready. In 12 hours, they would depart on humanity's most important mission since leaving their homeworld. Daniel hoped they were making the right choice. The Defiant left Earth's orbit at exactly 800 hours. As the blue planet grew smaller behind them, Daniel watched his crew work. They moved with purpose, their actions smooth from years of working together through the worst of the Krell War. Jump. Drive ready, Commander, said Lieutenant William Clark from the weapons station. Though young, Clark had proven himself in the Battle of Proxima when he'd rewired the ship's defense systems while under heavy fire. Take us out, Lieutenant, Daniel ordered. The stars blurred as the Defiant entered jump space. The journey to the Council headquarters would take 5 days, even with humanity's fastest engines. Ambassador Reeves joined Daniel on the bridge. She wore a simple blue uniform, similar to the military style but with diplomatic insignia. Commander, we should use this travel time to prepare, she said. My team has been studying Council protocols. Daniel nodded. The conference room is yours for briefings. Later that day, the combined military and diplomatic teams gathered around the large table. Dr. Martinez activated a display showing various alien species. The Council has 27 member species, she explained, each with their own biology, culture, and agenda. Images shifted on the screen. The oldest members are the Elysians, who founded the Council 10,000 years ago. The image showed a tall, willowy being with pale skin that seemed to glow from within. Its 4 eyes were arranged in a diamond pattern. The Elysians rarely speak directly to newer species, Dr. Martinez continued. But they hold significant influence. Nathan Harris, the cultural anthropologist, took over. Council politics are complex. 3 main power blocks have formed over time. He displayed a diagram showing connections between different species. The Arcadian Confederacy leads the progressive bloc, he said, pointing to an image of a 4-armed humanoid with shimmering skin. They generally favor expansion and new members. The Voloth Imperium, he continued, showing a massive reptilian being, leads the conservative bloc. They resist change and new influences. And the third bloc? Major Bell asked. The Mir Collective, Harris replied. The screen showed crystalline structures that seemed to pulse with inner light. They're neutral in most disputes, concerned mainly with knowledge gathering. Captain Samuel Rodriguez raised his hand. He was the engineering genius, whose work on shield harmonics had helped defeat the Krell. What do they know about our technology, he asked. Ambassador Reeves answered. Officially, only what they've observed from a distance. But intelligence suggests they're particularly interested in our shield innovations. The tech that turned the tide against the Krell, Rodriguez said quietly. It makes sense they'd want it. Which brings us to our approach, Reeves said. We need to appear open while revealing as little as possible. We need to learn their true intentions. The meeting continued for hours as they reviewed known information about Council species, protocols, and the limited intelligence Earth had, gathered over decades of distant observation. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep again. He found Captain Rodriguez in the engineering bay, running simulations on the shield systems. Still fine-tuning? Daniel asked. Rodriguez looked up from his screens. Making sure our readings will show only what we want them to see. The Arcadians, especially, have advanced scanning technology. Daniel leaned against a console. You think they'll try to scan our systems? I'd bet my life on it, Rodriguez said. In their position, I would. The next morning, Major Bell organized combat drills, disguised as routine maintenance. The crew needed to stay sharp even on a diplomatic mission. 14 minutes to full battle stations, she reported to Daniel. Not our best time. Keep working on it, he said, quietly. On the third day of their journey, Dr. Martinez requested an urgent meeting. When the team gathered, her usually calm face looked troubled. I've been analyzing the language patterns in the Council's invitation, she said. There's something I missed before. She displayed the message text with certain phrases highlighted. These terms, stability, mutual protection, united front, they appear repeatedly. I thought it was diplomatic formality, but when I compared it to other Council documents, it's not normal, Ambassador Reeves finished, studying the patterns. No, Martinez agreed. These are terms used in their military communications. This invitation wasn't written by their diplomatic corps. It was written by their defense council. The room fell silent as they absorbed this information. They're not inviting us to join a peaceful federation, Daniel said slowly. They're recruiting us for something. A war, Major Bell suggested. Maybe, Martinez replied. Or they're preparing for one. On the fourth day, they received a transmission from Admiral Wright. Her image on the screen looked even more tired than when they'd left. Commander, we've received reports from Centauri Prime, she said. Governor Blackwood reports unusual activity. Council ships have been detected at the edge of the system. Daniel frowned. How many? 3 vessels, maintaining distance. When hailed, they claim to be on routine patrol. There's nothing routine about Council ships near human colonies, Ambassador Reeves said. Exactly, Wright agreed. We've moved additional forces to Centauri, but discreetly. We don't want to appear hostile before your mission even begins. After the call ended, Daniel ordered increased security protocols aboard the Defiant. Passive scans only, he told Lieutenant Clark. I want to know if anyone approaches, but don't let them know we're looking. On the final day of travel, the ship's sensors detected the massive structure that housed the Galactic Council. It orbited, a neutron star drawing energy from its radiation. The structure was enormous, easily 10 times the size of Earth's largest space station. My God, whispered Lieutenant Clark as the image appeared on screen. Around the Council headquarters, hundreds of ships moved in precise patterns. Some were clearly military vessels, while others appeared to be diplomatic or commercial. We're being hailed, Major Bell reported. On screen, Daniel ordered. The face that appeared belonged to an Arcadian, its 4 arms visible as it made graceful gestures while speaking. Greetings, humans of the United Earth Fleet. I am Delegate Lysara of the Arcadian Confederacy. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I welcome you. Ambassador Reeves stepped forward. Thank you, Delegate Lysara. I am Ambassador Olivia Reeves representing Earth and its colonies. The Arcadians' multifaceted eyes seemed to study each person on the bridge. We have prepared docking arrangements for your vessel, Lysara said. A reception has been organized to welcome Earth's first official delegation. As the transmission ended, Daniel exchanged glances with Ambassador Reeves. And so it begins, she said quietly. Stay alert, Daniel told his crew as the Defiant approached the docking port. Remember your training. 3 sleek vessels moved to escort them, their designs unlike anything humanity had built. They guided the Defiant to an enormous docking bay where dozens of other ships were already secured. As they prepared to disembark, Ambassador Reeves stood beside Daniel at the airlock. Ready, Commander? She asked. Daniel checked his sidearm, concealed but accessible. As ready as we'll ever be. The airlock doors opened. Humanity was about to take its place on the galactic stage. The Galactic Council reception hall was filled with aliens from across the galaxy. Daniel had never seen so many different life forms in one place. Some floated in special tanks filled with colored liquids. Others moved on many legs or glided across the floor. The air was thick with strange smells and sounds. Ambassador Reeves moved confidently through the crowd, greeting delegates with practiced ease. Daniel and Major Bell stayed close, watching for any signs of trouble. Delegate Lysara approached, her forearms making welcoming gestures. Up close, her skin seemed to shift colors with her movements, reflecting light like polished metal. Commander Hayes, she said, her translator making her words clear. Your military record is impressive. 15 battles against the Krell. 7 major victories. Daniel kept his expression neutral. You seem well informed about our war. The Council observes all developing species, Lysara replied. Her multifaceted eyes blinked in sequence. Yours developed faster than most, especially during conflict. Major Bell stepped closer. War tends to speed things up. Lysara focused on Bell. Indeed, your tactical innovations at the Battle of Europa were particularly noteworthy. Daniel exchanged glances with Bell. How did they know such specific details? If you'll excuse us, Daniel said. I believe the ambassador needs our assistance. As they moved away, Bell whispered, They've been studying us very closely. Too closely, Daniel agreed. Stay alert. Across the room, Dr. Martinez was speaking. With a crystalline being, one of the Mir, its body seemed to pulse with inner light as they communicated. When Daniel approached, Martinez looked excited. Commander, the Mir communication methods are fascinating. They share information through light patterns, the crystalline being turned toward Daniel. Light flickered across its surface in complex patterns. It welcomes you, Martinez translated. And it's curious about how humans developed shield harmonics that could repel Krell energy weapons. Daniel frowned. Tell it that's a complicated topic for another time. Martinez spoke to the Mir using a small device that flashed colored lights. The being's surface rippled in response. It says all species must share technological advancements when joining the Council, Martinez translated. It's part of the membership requirements. Later, in a private meeting room aboard the Defiant, the human delegation gathered to share what they had learned. They're all asking about our military technology, Lieutenant Clark reported, especially the shields. The same with me, said Captain Rodriguez. A Voloth engineer asked very specific questions about harmonic resonance patterns. Ambassador Reeves looked troubled. This doesn't feel like a diplomatic welcome. It feels like a military assessment. We need more information, Daniel decided. Dr. Martinez, what access to Council records did they grant us? Limited historical archives, basic information about member species, she replied. Nothing about current military situations or conflicts. Captain Rodriguez, Lieutenant Clark, Daniel said. I want you to run a full scan of this station. Use passive sensors only. Let's see what they're not showing us. That night, while most of the delegation attended more social functions, Rodriguez and Clark worked in the Defiance engineering bay. They modified the ship's sensors to detect energy patterns throughout the council station. "Commander, you should see this," Rodriguez called Daniel to the screens. "The station's power distribution is unusual. Nearly 60% is going to this section here." The screen showed a large area of the station that hadn't been included in their welcome tour. "What's over there?" Daniel asked. "Unknown," Clark replied. "But it's drawing massive energy, and there are unusual radiation readings consistent with weapons testing." Daniel's communicator beeped with a message from Dr. Martinez. "Need to see you. Found something important. My quarters, 30 minutes." When Daniel arrived at Martinez's room, she was surrounded by data screens. Her eyes were wide with excitement or fear, maybe both. "I've been digging through the archives they gave us," she said, looking at their historical records about species that joined the council. "There's a pattern." She showed him a timeline. Every 200 to 250 years, they invite a new species to join. Always after that species has demonstrated advanced military technology. Daniel studied the data. "You think they're collecting weapons?" "Not exactly," Martinez replied. "Look at these. Reports about something called the Void." New images appeared, showing empty regions of space where stars should have been. There are only fragments of information, but it appears the Council has been fighting something for thousands of years. Something that destroys entire star systems. Daniel felt cold. And they recruit species with useful weapons to help fight their war. "A war they're losing," Martinez added quietly. Before they could discuss further, alarms blared throughout the ship. Daniel raced to the bridge. "What's happening?" he demanded. Major Bell looked up from her station. "Someone's trying to breach our computer systems. They're after the shield specifications." "Source?" Daniel asked. "Multiple points throughout the station," Bell replied. "Very sophisticated, but our security is holding." Ambassador Reeves joined them on the bridge. "Commander, I've just received a message. The Council wants to begin formal membership discussions tomorrow. They're moving faster than expected." "It's not a coincidence," Daniel said. "They're testing our defenses while pushing for membership. They want our technology." Daniel made a decision. "Major Bell, double the guards on all sensitive areas. Captain Rodriguez, prepare a modified version of our shield data. Nothing classified, just enough to look cooperative." "And me?" Ambassador Reeves asked. "Keep them talking," Daniel replied. "We need time to learn more about this void threat and what they really expect from us." The next morning, Daniel received an urgent message from Earth. Admiral Wright appeared. On his screen, her expression grave. "Commander, the situation has changed," she said. "We've detected unusual energy readings in the Centauri system. 3 council ships have moved closer to the colony." "Hostile actions?" Daniel asked. "Unclear. But Governor Blackwood reports their defense systems are picking up scan attempts. Very deep scans." Daniel's jaw tightened. "They're assessing our colony defenses." "That's our conclusion as well," Wright agreed. "The fleet is on high alert." "Be careful, Commander. Whatever game the Council is playing, we're not the only pieces on the board." After the call ended, Daniel gathered his officers. "We're walking into a complex situation," he told them. "The Council needs our help against an enemy called the Void, but they're not being honest about it. And some factions may see us as a threat rather than an ally." "What's our play?" Major Bell asked. "We attend the Council session," Daniel decided. "We listen, we learn, but we stay ready for anything." As they prepared to leave for the Council chamber, Ambassador Reeves stopped beside Daniel. "Commander, if they are fighting some ancient enemy, don't we have a duty to help? Humanity survived the Krell because we stood together." Daniel considered her words. "We have a duty to protect Earth first, Ambassador. If helping the Council does that, fine. But I won't let them sacrifice humanity to save themselves." Together they walked toward the massive Council chamber, where representatives from 27 alien civilizations waited to decide humanity's future among the stars. The Council chamber was enormous, It stretched in a great circle with rising tiers of seats. Each section was designed for different alien bodies. Some areas had special atmospheres held in by invisible fields. Others had pools of strange liquids, where aquatic species floated. Daniel stood with Ambassador Reeves and the human delegation on a platform at the center. 27 alien species watched them from all sides. The High Counselor, an Elysian, floated forward. Its body glowed with soft light, and its 4 eyes studied the humans closely. "Earth has petitioned to join the Galactic Council," the Elysian said. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "This body must decide if humans are ready for such responsibility." Delegate Lysara of the Arcadians spoke next. "Humans have proven themselves capable through their victory against the Krell. Their technological advances during wartime show great potential." A massive reptilian being rose from the Voloth section. "Potential for what?" it growled. "For destruction? For chaos? Humans developed from primitive technology to defeating a Class II aggressive species in less than 2 centuries. Such rapid advancement is dangerous." Other delegates began to speak, some supporting humanity's inclusion, others opposed. Daniel noticed they all mentioned human military capabilities, especially the shield technology. Ambassador Reeves stepped forward. "Honored delegates, humanity comes in peace. We seek knowledge and cooperation with all species." The Voloth representative made a harsh sound. "Peace? Your species knows only war. Your fastest developments came during conflict. You are weapons makers." "We defended ourselves," Reeves replied calmly. "As any species would." Dr. Martinez leaned close to Daniel. "Commander, they're talking around something. Notice how no one mentions the void?" Daniel nodded slightly. He had noticed the same thing. The Mir representative, a crystalline being, moved to the center. Light patterns flashed across its surface as it communicated. The Mir asks if humans would share their shield technology as part of membership requirements, a translator announced. Before Reeves could answer, Daniel stepped forward. "We're willing to discuss technology sharing, but first we need to understand what threats the Council faces." The chamber grew silent. "What do you mean, Commander?" asked the High Counselor. "Our researchers found references to something called the Void in your historical archives," Daniel said. "If the Council faces a threat, shouldn't new members know about it?" The Elysian's glow dimmed slightly. Many delegates shifted uncomfortably. "The Void is not a topic for open discussion," the High Counselor said finally. "It will be addressed in private sessions." "With respect," Daniel continued, "it seems to be the real reason you've invited us here. Not diplomatic relations, but military need." Angry murmurs spread through the chamber. The Voloth representative rose again. "This proves humans are not ready. They demand secrets before they've earned trust." Lysara of the Arcadians moved closer to the human delegation. "Perhaps we should continue this discussion later after tempers have cooled." The council session ended abruptly. As they left the chamber, Lysara approached Daniel privately. "Commander, you've created quite a stir," she said. "Some delegates are not pleased." "We noticed your ship scanning our colony," Daniel replied, "and attempts to access our classified systems. We're not pleased either." Lysara's skin changed color, darkening slightly. "Not all factions within the council agree on how to approach new species. Some prefer direct methods." "And you?" Daniel asked. "I believe in honesty," she said. "Meet me tonight. There are things you should know about the Void." Back aboard the Defiant, the human delegation debated their next move. "I don't trust her," Major Bell said. "This could be a trap." "Or our best chance to learn the truth," Ambassador Reeves countered. Captain Rodriguez reported from engineering. "Commander, our scans have detected unusual activity in the restricted section of the station. Massive energy buildup." "Weapons?" Daniel asked. "Possibly," Rodriguez replied. "Or they could be preparing a large-scale jump drive activation," Lieutenant Clark added. "And we're receiving strange readings from the neutron star. There are artificial structures around it that weren't there yesterday." Daniel made his decision. I'll meet with Lysara. Ambassador Reeves will come with me. Major Bell, you have command of the Defiant. If anything happens, your priority is to get the ship back to Earth. You expect trouble? Bell asked. I expect the unexpected, Daniel replied. That night, Daniel and Ambassador Reeves met Lysara in a quiet area of the station. The Arcadian led them through rarely used corridors until they reached a small observation room. Through the viewing port, they could see the neutron star glowing fiercely. The Council has been fighting the void for over 9,000 years, Lysara said without preamble. It is not an enemy in the way you understand. It is absence given form. What does that mean? Daniel asked. The void consumes everything. Matter, energy, even space itself, Lysara explained. It leaves nothing behind. 17 Council species have lost their homeworlds to it. Ambassador Reeves looked shocked. Entire planets? Gone? Entire star systems, Lysara corrected. The void grows slowly but steadily. For millennia, we have managed to contain it, but in the last century, it has become more aggressive. Why? Didn't you tell us this from the beginning? Daniel asked. Fear, Lysara said simply. Fear of causing panic among younger species. Fear of appearing weak. She touched a control panel. A holographic display showed a region of empty space where stars should have been. The void will reach your colony on Centauri Prime within 30 years, Earth itself within 50. Daniel felt cold. That's why you're scanning our colonies. You're calculating how much time we have. Yes, Lysara admitted. The Council is divided on how to proceed. Some want to help all species fight. Others believe only the strongest should survive. Let me guess, Ambassador Reeves said. The Voloth think we should be left to die. They believe resources should be reserved for species with longer histories, Lysara said carefully. But many of us disagree. Daniel studied the star maps. Our shield technology. You think it might work against the void? The harmonic resonance fields you developed to counter Krell energy weapons, Lysara nodded. They operate on principles similar to our most effective void containment systems. But yours are more efficient, more adaptable. You want us to help improve your defenses, Reeves realized. We want to survive, Lysara said. All of us, including humanity. Daniel's communicator beeped urgently. Major Bell's voice came through, tense and quick. Commander, we're detecting massive energy fluctuations in the neutron star. The Council ships are moving into defensive positions. What's happening? Daniel asked Lysara. The Arcadian's skin had turned almost white. The void. It's here. It shouldn't be possible. Our calculations gave us years, not days. Warning alarms blared throughout the station. Announcements in dozens of languages echoed through the corridors. We need to get back to the Defiant, Daniel told Reeves. Lysara stopped them. Commander, you don't understand. If the void has reached this system, we have hours, not days. Your ship cannot outrun it. Then what do you suggest? Daniel asked. EUInd. Council has evacuation protocols, Lysara said. And your shield technology might buy us time. If your engineers would work with ours, Daniel made a quick decision. Get us to the Council chamber now. As they raced through the corridors, Daniel contacted the Defiant. Major Bell, prepare the ship for emergency departure, but wait for my signal. Captain Rodriguez, bring all shield data and be ready to transfer to the station's engineering section. The neutron star visible through the windows had started to look strange. Its glow was dimming on one side, as if something was taking bites from its fierce light. The void had arrived, and humanity's place in the galaxy might depend on what happened in the next few hours. Chaos filled the Council chamber. Delegates shouted over each other in dozens of languages. Some were already leaving, rushing to their ships. Fear hung in the air like a heavy fog. The High Counselor's voice cut through the noise. Emergency. Protocols are now active. All military vessels prepare defensive positions. Civilian evacuation will begin immediately. Daniel stood with Reeves and Lysara near the center of the chamber. The massive view screen showed the neutron star. A shadow was spreading across its surface. Where the shadow touched, nothing remained. Not darkness, but complete absence. "That's the void?" Daniel asked. "Yes," Lysera replied. "It consumes everything, and it's moving faster than we've ever seen before." The Voloth representative pushed through the crowd toward them. "This is your fault," it roared at the humans. "The void has never jumped ahead of our predictions until your arrival." Daniel ignored the accusation. "How long before it reaches the station?" "Hours at most," Lysera answered. "Our containment fields will slow it but not stop it." The High Counselor floated over. "Commander Hayes, we must ask for humanity's help. Your shield technology may buy us time to evacuate." Daniel looked at Ambassador Reeves. She nodded slightly. "Captain Rodriguez," Daniel called over his communicator. "Bring all shield specifications to the main engineering control room. We're going to help them modify their containment fields." "Understood, Commander," Rodriguez replied. The Voloth representative made a harsh, angry sound. "So now you want human help? After you voted to exclude them?" "There was no vote," the High Counselor said. "And now is not the time for division." Daniel turned to Major Bell on his communicator. "Status of the Defiant?" "Ready for emergency departure," she replied. "But Commander, there's something else. The void isn't just affecting the neutron star, it's opening. Like a door." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. "Our sensors are detecting something coming through. Multiple signatures. They read as ships, but unlike any design we've seen." The chamber fell silent as the view screen shifted to show the edge of the void. Dark shapes were emerging from the emptiness. Ships, hundreds of them, with smooth black hulls that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Impossible," whispered Lysera. "Nothing can exist within the void." "Who are they?" Daniel asked. The High Counselor's glow had dimmed to almost nothing. "We don't know. In 9,000 years we've never seen anything come out of the void." The strange ships began to move toward the council station. Their formation was clearly military. "They're charging weapons," Bell reported over the communicator. Ambassador Reeves looked at Daniel. "We came here seeking peace. We may have found another war instead." Daniel made a quick decision. "Major Bell, bring the Defiant to full battle readiness. Captain Rodriguez, still proceed with shield modifications but prepare combat versions as well." Lysara's skin had gone almost white. "Your ship cannot stand against so many." "Maybe not," Daniel agreed. "But we won't run without trying to help." First, the council chamber erupted again as the first shots were fired. The dark ships attacked the outer defenses of the station. Council military vessels moved to intercept but were quickly overwhelmed. "All delegates to emergency evacuation points," the High Counselor announced. "This is not a drill." Daniel grabbed Lysera's arm. "The shield modifications, will they work?" "Theoretical models suggest yes," she replied, "but we've never tested them against direct void energy." "We're about to," Daniel said grimly. In the main engineering control room, Captain Rodriguez worked frantically alongside alien engineers. They integrated the human shield harmonics into the station's defenses. "It's ready," Rodriguez told Daniel, over the communicator. "But Commander, these aren't just shields anymore. The way they've modified them." "What do you mean?" Daniel asked. "They've turned them into weapons," Rodriguez replied. "The harmonics don't just block void energy, they can reverse it." Daniel looked at Lysera. "You didn't mention this part." "Some knowledge is too dangerous to share until necessary," she replied without apology. The station shook as the first attacks broke through the outer defenses. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Daniel made his decision. "Rodriguez, activate the shields, full power." The modified shields flared to life around the station. Where they touched the advancing void, the emptiness seemed to recoil. The darks, ships fired again, but their weapons were absorbed by the shield harmonics. "It's working," Lysera exclaimed. Then Rodriguez's voice came through again, tense with worry. "Commander, we have a problem. The shields are drawing too much power. The station's core is overloading." How long do we have? Daniel asked. Minutes, maybe less, Rodriguez replied. Everyone needs to evacuate now. Daniel turned to the High Counselor. Get your people out, now. As delegates rushed to evacuation ships, Daniel contacted the Defiant. Major Bell, dock at emergency port 7. We're leaving. The station shook more violently. Systems were failing throughout the structure. The modified shields, Rodriguez reported. They're not just pushing back the void, they're closing it like stitching a wound. On the view screen, they could see the gap in space beginning to shrink. The dark ships were retreating back into the emptiness. They're running, Lacera said. In disbelief, or regrouping, Daniel countered. Either way, we need to leave. The High Counselor approached Daniel as they neared the evacuation port. Commander Hayes, humanity has proven itself today. When the Council reforms at our emergency location, Earth will be welcomed as a full member. If there is a Council left, Daniel replied, and if Earth wants to join. The Defiant docked briefly to collect the human delegation. As they pulled away, the station's core finally overloaded. The explosion was blinding, but the modified shields contained most of it, directing the energy toward the void. When the light faded, the void was gone. The neutron star shone again, though dimmer than before. The dark ships had vanished. In the Defiant's command room, the human delegation gathered to assess what had happened. The shield modifications worked, Captain Rodriguez reported. They pushed back the void, at least temporarily. But we still don't know what those ships were, Major Bell added, or if they'll return. Ambassador Reeves looked troubled. The Council has been fighting this enemy for 9,000 years without telling younger species. How many other secrets are they keeping? Daniel turned to Dr. Martinez. What did you learn from the archives before everything went bad? Not much, she replied. But I found references to void appearances near Earth in the distant past. The Council knew the void would eventually threaten our system. They were watching us to see if we'd develop useful defenses, and we did, Daniel said. The Krell weapons were similar to void energy. That's why our shields worked against both. You think the Krell were connected to the void somehow? Reeves asked. I think nothing in this galaxy is as simple as it first appears, Daniel replied. As the Defiant prepared to jump back to Earth, Admiral Wright contacted them. Commander, we've received reports from across human space, she said. The strange energy readings we detected near Centauri Prime have disappeared. What happened out there? Daniel looked at his team, then back at Wright's image. It's a long story, Admiral, but the short version is, humanity just fought its first battle as part of the Galactic Council, and it won't be the last. The Defiant jumped into faster-than-light travel, leaving the remains of the Council station behind. Earth needed to prepare. The void had been pushed back, but not defeated. The dark ships would return, and when they did, humanity would need to be ready. War had followed them to the stars once again, but this time they wouldn't face it alone.